Welcome to Michigan's True Spirit podcast, brought to you by North River Vodka. North River Vodka, it's Michigan's true spirit. Now, here's Chris and Eric.
Welcome to the Michigan's True Spirit podcast. I am Chris. I am here on a cold January night with Eric. Are you staying warm, Eric?
No, I'm not. I got my sweater on. I wore a sweater today. I'm still freezing my butt off.
It's the 21st as we're recording this, and that's usually like the first day-ish of a new season. And winter started a month ago, but I feel like we're in like deep winter. Like, can we name today? Like, it's the first day of suck winter. I don't know.
Yeah,
It sucks. It sucks.
Yeah, you're through the holidays. All the joy is gone, and you just got to look out into the desolate abyss of white, and you're like, oh, why did Albertus Van Raalte and the Dutch settlers choose this place and not Tallahassee?
We're 30 seconds into this, and I'm already confused. This is Michigan's True Spirit podcast, brought to you by North River Vodka. It's a little vodka brand I own. We talk about all the good things on Michigan. So, of course, we are here murdering only one of the 4 seasons in Michigan. The other 3 are great.
They're better.
They're great, and they'll be here soon enough.
Hey, good news though. No mosquitoes. No mosquito bites today. No sunburn. We're good.
Heck. So who are we going to talk to in a minute, Eric?
Oh, a very exciting guest coming up very soon, and that is Mr. Matt Sussman. You might know him from Tigers Baseball Twitter, Baseball Prospectus, and his work as I would say, a curling influencer in the region. He loves curling. He's done a lot for the sport in this area, and he's going to share hopefully some interesting stuff about curling. The Olympics is coming up, so a lot of good stuff about curling in Michigan. So we're looking forward to that.
This is Alex Avila, and you're listening to Michigan's True Spirit podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Michigan True Spirit podcast. This is my best announcer voice, and we are back. We have our special guest this week. We have Matt Sussman. Many of you may know Matt Sussman as the former writer your current and former writer of all things Detroit Tigers baseball all over, Twitter personality, right, for Baseball Perspective, all different kind of media outlets. Welcome, Mr. Matt Sussman. How are you?
I appreciate it. Good to talk with you. That's quick plug. I know we're not talking about baseball that much, but the new book is out this year.
Tell us about the book.
It's 2026 annual. I have last year's actually right here. This was 2025. It's got Paul Skeens on it. I think Aaron Judge is on this year's. I did not write about the Tigers on it, but it's got all of the Tigers players on it and all the other ones, and it's a good book to get every year. So go buy it.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
We tend to have a few Tigers fans hanging around yet, so that's good. Happy to know.
Yeah. I was gonna say, did we want to talk about Rick Porcello getting 2 Hall of Fame votes?
2 Hall of Fame votes.
Oh gosh, can we?
We can.
Is that the appropriate number?
I think it was funny. The only one I know that was public, the guy said he had room on his ballot, and he's from Jersey, and Rick's from Jersey, so he just said, "All right, here you go." I think 1 would have been fine, but 2 was even funnier. So I'm happy for him.
I have no beef. Baseball fans get so bent out of shape about Hall of Fame votes. Like, I think it'd be awesome to play Major League Baseball and get a Hall of Fame vote. Like, that would just be so cool. Whether you deserve, whether somebody really thinks you should be in or not, like, who cares? Like, it's 1 vote. People need to chill.
Is this like, drafting the GM's kid in the 40th round or something like that? It feels a little patronizing.
I mean, he did win a Cy Young, and he won a World Series. That's a good career.
Yeah.
My goal when I was a baseball writer was to quit being a baseball writer before somebody gave me a Hall of Fame ballot, because I wanted no part of it. And I made it out alive, luckily.
That whole process seems kind of gross to me, but anyway, we're not here to talk about Rick Porcello, although I know all your moms are disappointed that we aren't, but we are here to talk about curling. Word on the street is a couple of things. One, you are the president of the Great Lakes Curling Association. Tell us about what that is and your duties and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So this past fall, I was elected, appointed, what have you. The Great Lakes Curling Association is a regional association of curling clubs in the tri-state area. So Michigan, Ohio, Indiana. We have a club in Kentucky as well. And basically, our job is to promote each other's events, have people go to them. We hold championships as well, and some of those championships will qualify people to go to national championships, national curling championships. So that is mainly what it entails. It's a volunteer job, but it's fun, and it's a good way to sort of network with all of the curling clubs. We have 19 curling clubs in the area, and most of them are Michigan, and that's where the growth is as well.
Yeah, so I was going to be my next question. Tell us about kind of the state of curling in the state, the trajectory. What's the state of affairs?
It's a growing sport, and that's what's really nice about it, is that all of the clubs have space, and they want to teach the game to people in the community. And clubs are popping up here and there. Clubs are undergoing renovations. They're expanding. Usually you start out in a hockey arena, and you borrow ice time against hockey and figure skating, and then once you grow enough and you get popular enough, then you kind of grow out of that, and you get your own place, and then it's just for curling. Nothing else happens in it. And lots of the places in Traverse City and Indianapolis, spacing on the other one, Kalamazoo a few years ago, Columbus, Cincinnati, all of those in the last 15 years. Fort Wayne have graduated. Us, Bowling Green, Ohio, have graduated to their own place. So I'd say it's still a niche sport. A lot of people still don't know a lot about it, but those that are into it are all about it, and it's almost like a lifestyle for a lot of people.
Yeah. So what's it take to prepare a sheet? You obviously need a rink, but isn't there like a pebbling? They like spray water. Like what does it take to get a sheet ready to go?
You did your homework, yeah.
Wow.
So curling ice is different than hockey and skating ice. Hockey ice and skating ice is just perfectly flat. Curling ice has little bumps on it. That's the pebble that you refer to. So what happens is that to get the ice ready, first it takes a couple weeks, and we just put layers on layers of ice in. So we'll just get a hose and just do a quarter of an inch, build it up. And then every day, basically, we just kind of re-prepare the ice. We scrape it, and then we add that pebble. It's just warm water, and it just falls on the ice, creates little bumps. That's the running surface. Kind of has an orange peel consistency on the top. And the daily process takes about 20 minutes a sheet, so maybe an hour and a half if you got 4 sheets. And then to repebble, 15-20 minutes. 2 guys can do that for the whole club. So so work does go into it, and again, most of that stuff is done by volunteers. There's some clubs that have a paid ice technician, but most of them, it's just someone who is willing to do. Yes.
Matt, you talked about how it's kind of getting bigger in Michigan and growing, but I think when anybody wants to try something new, there's a little bit of a fear factor there. Am I going to show up and be the idiot? Am I going to look like I don't know what I'm doing? Where do I go, and how do I?
People in general,
well, I'm asking for me because I don't have the knees for it anymore either. I don't think. But where do people go in Michigan? Where are the clubs, and how do you get started? And kind of is it intimidating to show up for the first time? To me, it seems like probably the most welcoming group of people you could wander into just from the outside.
Yeah. Oh, lot of ways I can answer that. I'm going to start with where all the clubs in Michigan are, because I do want to promote all of those as well. I've got the map here just so I don't miss any. So we'll start with Detroit. That's in Ferndale. That's the biggest, probably oldest club. They have the most members. Kalamazoo, I mentioned, they're between facilities right now, but they've got a club. There are arena clubs in Lansing and Grand Rapids. Now we're moving further north. Midland, Michigan, so just north of Saginaw, has a really nice place. Ludington, Michigan, that's our newest
Wow.
club.
Nice.
Ludington just formed. We have Traverse City, which is a beautiful club. That's the newest building that they have. It's a really cool place. There's actually another club in around Traverse City. It's not a GLCA club, but Leelanau County or Leelanau Curling Club. It's privately owned. I've been there. It's really nice. Lewiston, Michigan, so east of Gaylord, has a really cute club, little two-sheeter. I've been there. Alpena, Michigan, has a Thunder Bay Curling Club. Petoskey has a very unique one-sheet place. You'd have to see a picture of it to do it justice. And then there's Delta Rocks in Escanaba, and then there's Copper Country. That is near Houghton.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of the that's a trek, but they have a beautiful place, and it's a place I really want to go to. And then I know there's a club in Marquette, Michigan. That's not a GLCA club, but I see things about them. And then there's going all the way back down to southern, southern Michigan is in Novi. There's a kind of an entertainment. I forget the name of it, but it's not a full regulation style curling. It's like half the size, so it's good for like parties and they got that aside, the axe throwing aside, like all those other stuff. So you can sort of get a taste there. But those are all the places. So if you're near,
that's very cool.
Anywhere there, go to the nearest one. Go to their website. Look up, how can I learn how to play? And speaking to, trying something new. That is, it takes a lot of bravery to do that because, you don't want to look like an idiot. It looks easy. It is hard, but it's very accessible. And, you talked about your knees, and there's a few ways you can deliver a curling stone. If you don't have good knees or hips or whatever reason, there's a way you can deliver it using sort of like a shuffleboard stick. You just kind of walk out and push it. And a lot of or really all of the clubs that have leagues let people do that because it's a game, people can play into their 80s and 90s. So I think you'd be surprised at how well you can do, knowing what you can do and knowing that everyone's not really taking it all that seriously. So I see people have a lot of fun the first time they try it.
I wish I hadn't mentioned that because now I feel old, but go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think a lot of the juice around the sport of curling comes up on this 4-year cycle, and we're approaching that now. All of a sudden, everybody gets activated about the Winter Olympics. I first became aware of Winter Olympics curling one time when I was in public, and somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, did you know that you look like Olympic curler John Schuster?" And I said, "No, I did not know that." And I said, "Thank you." Anyway, so the Olympics is coming up. What is something that the average or even below average fan should be looking for at the Olympics for curling? What should capture their interest, if anything? The pants, the fancy pants?
You're not going to see fancy pants. Yeah, unfortunately, they all kind of just have the traditional pants.
The Scandinavian, what was it? The Finns had the fancy.
So the Norway,
Norway.
That team when they retired, Norway's back in it, but they wanted this. They were intentionally saying, "We're not that team. That was their thing. We're going to do our thing." So that's bold, but I think what you're going to see is that you're not going to see any teams that are not athletic.
Okay.
Everyone who's there, you mentioned John Schuster, and he won a gold medal. He went to the Olympics 5 times, and he just missed out on making it this year for USA. He was replaced by a younger team led by Danny Casper, who's 24. So
wow.
baby.
Yeah.
And everyone on that team, I think, is in their 20s or early 30s. So all of the teams are very fit. Their endurance is high. They do workouts. They're the best athletes that the sport's ever seen. And shots are going to be made at a high percentage. They have figured out how to sweep in a way to manipulate the trajectory better than they ever have. They know more about the sport than they ever have. You're going to see a lot of made shots. And I think you're also going to see, especially on the American side, you're going to see a new team, and they have a different personality than the previous one. They're younger, they're looser, they crack jokes, they're a little dorky in a good way. You're going to see a kid wearing a headband, like a red headband, who's got glasses and that, kind of reminds me of the pommel horse guy from a couple of years ago. Same kind of vibe. But you're going to see really high quality curling, probably better than you did 4 years ago.
Who are the favorites? Like, which countries are likely to? Is it Canada? Is it the Scandinavians? Who's?
Yep. Canada will probably medal in men's and women's. USA has a very good chance to medal in mixed doubles, which is the two-person variety. They won the world championship, I think, in 23, and that team is back. So they could take the whole thing there. Great Britain's team, which is basically Scotland, the men's team, Bruce Mowat, very good. They've got world titles and won silver 4 years ago. On the women's side, Switzerland has got a very good team. Sweden's team is back. They won gold 4 years ago, so they could factor in. Yeah, Canada's always going to be in there, though. They've got the deepest pool of athletes, and if they don't win a medal, then it's considered a failure for them still. So they haven't won gold in a while, but Rachel Homan on the women's side, she's been on a heater for the last 4 years. She's been practically untouchable, so that's likely who wins. And then Brad Jacobs, who won gold in 2014, has returned with the team, and so he has a very good chance to go as well. So a lot of good teams, though, but those were the ones I'd key in on.
Matt, every 4 years, the tradition is that the Winter Olympics roll around, and another tradition is when they do, people are like, if my life depended on me becoming a Winter Olympian in the next 4 years, what sport would I choose?
Yes.
And everybody always says curling. You mentioned how it's accessible. I play cards. They say Texas Hold'em. It takes a minute to learn and a lifetime to master. It kind of sounds like what you're saying about curling. Can you dispel or confirm? Like, is it easy? Can I become an Olympian in the next 4 years in curling, or should I, jump on a bobsled?
There was a case, and it's said all the time, and you're right. It's the one you picked, and no one's trying like ski jumping or anything like that. Or oh, I think I could win in two-man skeleton. But
that seems pretty intimate, but yeah.
So yes. Now a case study happened 8 years ago, and if you guys remember Jared Allen, the football player, he basically made a bet with some of his football buddies and said, "I think we can make the Olympics in 4 years if we really put our minds to it." They retired and they went in. They trained, they knew the right people, they put a team together, and they got absolutely rinsed. But Jared has, true to form, he has dedicated himself, and he's actually a very good curler now. And he has participated at national championships as a lead.
Mm-hmm.
So he has the ability to be good, but he's, I don't think he's ever making the Olympics, even though that was his goal. But he has brought awareness to the sport. And his former teammate, Mark Bolger, the quarterback for the, Rams? I think another team, but I think it was Kurt Warner's replacement in St. Louis. He built a curling club in Nashville, Tennessee. And so again, another net positive. So they went out and tried it, and then they put their mark on the sport, and now it's a little bit better because they tried. But all of these curlers that are at the Olympics, they've been playing their whole life.
Sure.
So
realistically,
if you wanted to make the Olympics, you're looking at like an 8 to 12 year commitment. Not saying don't do it, but I'm just saying, you're not stepping on the ice and getting there, but you can step on the ice and you can get pretty good and play in leagues like within weeks.
That's fun.
I think people look at the sports and they decide the one that is most possible to be successful at are the ones that you can participate in the sport while drinking a beer. Like you can't ski jump while you're smoking a cigarette. Like you can't figure skate while you're drinking a beer, but you could probably do both while you curl casually. But I don't think that's a very good indication. I don't think that's probably the barometer we should be using. So
I'm curious. Tell me about the yelling. There seems to be a lot of yelling. My theory is there's probably a lot of yelling in basketball too, but it's loud, so you don't hear it. Like guys are, calling out picks and stuff, but it seems curling seems peculiar in that they're yelling at each other, like go or stop or harder,
hard, hurry hard. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think the sort of cadence of the yelling is unlike any other sport because it's elongated. You're constantly doing it. The yelling, I think, is meant to be motivational.
Okay.
It's positive. You're telling your teammate, do this thing and keep doing it. And if you keep at it, then we're going to make our shot and we're going to be successful. Yep. The other thing is that at the curling club, it's loud, it's echoey.
Okay.
So, you can't really hear that, your teammate is 120 feet away. Mm-hmm. And, you can't just talk in an inside voice. You got to really carry that voice. You got to have some pipes. A lot of those skips, I know by the time the week is over, they start to get a little hoarse.
Right.
But the yelling, I think, is mostly, it really does get your adrenaline going and it gets your teammates into that extra gear and helps you make that shot. And it's fun.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I know this is like curling 101, but the pebbling, and when you sweep it, you're melting that little layer. How much influence on that stone can you get? Are you moving it 4 inches? Are you moving 12 inches? It's a little hard to judge on TV. Like, how much is your team really influencing that rock?
In terms of distance, so again, the reason
right, because you got left and right and forward and back. Yeah,
it can add distance. You can't subtract. You can't really slow it down at all. You can only add distance, and like you said, sort of melting the ice, scratching the ice, reducing the friction. I've actually got my broom here. This you got video on this, right?
Yeah.
That does video. So this is a curling broom here. This is the pad. And this gets, gets wears down, you just replace it. But just by, applying pressure to the ice, it can add, I'd say Olympians can probably add 10 to 12 feet of distance if they go the whole way.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which is a big difference between being in the scoring area or the house and being out of it. Because it's a 12-foot diameter target. So that makes a big difference. And then it can also manipulate the line in terms of it's going left or right. You can't make it spin backwards, but you can add curl or try to keep it straight.
Sure.
A couple of inches here and there, depending on how fast it's going. So that is a big skill, as well as knowing what's going to happen. And it's kind of like reading a golf green, knowing what the ice does. It changes over time. So that's a big skill, and those that can figure it out tend to be more successful than the other team.
Matt, we're a Michigan's podcast, Michigan's True Spirit podcast. So like you get around to the different curling clubs. What do you love about curling in Michigan and Michigan as a whole, just getting around the state?
The clubs I was a member of Detroit for a number of years, and that club's got a lot of history. It's the case for pretty much every single club. You look at it from the outside and it looks like almost nothing. A lot of the clubs, sometimes they're in like industrial parks or loading docks, things like that. And then you walk inside and it's like, oh my God, this is beautiful. Lewiston, Michigan's club I can only just say it is cute. It is so cute. You got, the wooden walls, and, it's cold, and you're inside, and, you go inside and it's warm, and you go to another room and it's cold, and you've got the hospitality, you've got the sense of community, which is another big part of it. I mentioned a lot of people are very dedicated. It is the value of a curling club in a community just only adds to it. Lewiston's a small place. They've got like 4,000 people, but they've got their curling club, and that's what they do in the winter. And Traverse City's got a club now, and they're growing, and they've got the kids out there on the ice, and you see people of all generations. You've got teenagers playing with people in their 80s, like just talking. And you just see that. You see that in Michigan. You kind of see it everywhere, but especially in Michigan because the sport is growing. There's just they've made their mark on their community, and whether it's you see the outline, like I've got the GLCA repping the GLCA shirt here, so you see this kind of stuff. You see the outline of Michigan. There's just so many cool little pieces of artwork on the walls that are either new or from 50 years ago. It's just so unique. It's hard to explain. You just got to go into a club and check it out for yourself. They're just very warm, welcoming places.
Super cool. Well, thank you so much for being with us, for sharing everything about curling in Michigan and the sport in general. For everybody, one more time, can you share where to find you, or where you're writing, what you're sharing these days? Where can they find you?
I actually don't know how to share my Blue Sky thing. I'll give you the link for that, but
we can put it in the description too.
Do Baseball Prospectus. I'm by the book for Baseball Prospectus. GreatLakesCurling.org is the GLCA website, and you can find a curling club. We have the links to all the curling clubs that are part of our association there. That's probably good enough.
Yeah, outstanding. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks. You're listening to the Michigan's True Spirit podcast. North River Vodka. It's Michigan's True Spirit. Welcome back to the Michigan's True Spirit podcast. I'm Chris. I'm here with Eric, and I would like to thank Matt Sussman again for coming on to our podcast and discussing curling. Before we get into our next segment, which we call My Michigan, and talk about something that's going on in this great state of ours, Eric took over the introduction to bring Matt on board, and what we forgot to do was talk about what we're drinking.
Oh, yeah.
What are you drinking, Eric?
I always drink bourbon, I feel like, but today I'm drinking my favorite rum, and we have Diplomatico. It's a product of Venezuela, so it's like the Miguel Cabrera of rum. And I'm sure everything with Venezuela, I don't watch the news, but I'm sure everything with Venezuela is good.
Everything's hunky-dory, I'm sure.
I got some Venezuelan rum.
I couldn't find a bottle of vodka from Greenland. I'm sorry, we've gone totally political now here, haven't we? But I have a bottle of North River vodka right here. This is actually batch 5, bottle number 11. We quit numbering those a little while ago. And I am drinking it's kind of sad now because we were supposed to discuss this a while ago because my ice is all melting. I am drinking a blood orange mule.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, fancy. I will tell you that I kept my streak alive and I poured the lime juice out of a bottle. I did not kill a lime tonight.
Gosh, dude.
I'll tell you what, this is what we're going to do.
It will not hurt you.
This is what we're going to do. I will buy a lime when you start drinking Michigan alcohol exclusively on this podcast, because it is about Michigan alcohol, and you're drinking something from Venezuela. So let's shape it up by February. By the time winter is over.
How many Venezuelans have made Michigan, their home? Well, Cabrera,
Maglio Ordonez.
Maglio.
So in this week's while we're on the sports topic, Eric, I wanted to apologize to the world because I made a mistake yesterday. I said something on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Twitter's kind of a cesspool now. Sorry. Well,
but here's the thing.
It was then too.
I'm going to try to spin this positively. Okay. Well, this is the my section, and I might just go on a little Mike Valenti style rant for the next 10 minutes, so you can just sit back and wait till there's a pause. Okay.
Got it.
Detroit Lions. Everybody loves the Detroit Lions. They fell a little short this year. They hired a new offensive coordinator this week, and I went on Twitter and I said, I'm going to say what 99% of Detroit Lions fans should say. Like, I don't know how this is going to work out. The hobby in sports is like everything is black and white. It's like an on-off switch. It's either right or it's wrong. And that's not how the world works. So as will happen when you say things on Twitter, there's some blowback. Okay. I got beat up. I was answering everybody politely. Some guy that was and I made a comment to try to explain, and the guy responded with, "You sound like a battered wife," which I'm not sure what that means, but that's par for the course on Twitter, right? But here's what I'd like to say. Two things. When I say 99% of people can't succeed at something, it doesn't mean that 99% of people are stupid. It means it's really hard, right? Eric, are NFL referees very good at what they do?
Now, I'm unusual, but I think they do get so many calls right. I think they do pretty
They
good.
are very good at what they do. They're trained at this. They're probably the best in the world at NFL football refereeing, right? You know why they blow calls? Because it's really hard to discern pass interference at real speed while you're running down a field in the weather. Like, refereeing is hard. You know
And
what
how
else
many
is
times
hard?
don't you see the super slow-mo replay and you're like, oh, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, you can't tell. Yes, and in full
It's hard to
speed,
tell.
it's a little harder. Could they call holding on play? Maybe on every play, maybe, but they don't have enough officials to see every angle that you see on your 65-inch high def TV, which everybody has now because they're like $200.
Right.
Do you think people who predict the weather are bad at it?
No, I think they're
No.
pretty good.
Predicting the weather is hard. There's all kinds of data today that makes it easier, and they still blow it all the time. It's because it's hard.
Yep.
You know what's hard? Taking a guy who was an offensive coordinator in Arizona on a crap team with injuries and being sure that he's either going to succeed or not in a new team with a new roster, with a new coaching staff, with new culture, with new philosophy. Okay. But here's what I'm going to try to spin this positive. As always, we hear from the ends, right? I got blasted by the people who know that he's going to fail. And I did leave room for them. I said 99%. If these people would like to claim that they're in the 1% that knows, I'll let them have it. That's cool. But my post got 1,600 likes. 1,600 people found my comment reasonable. They just chose not to speak.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of what's going on in the world today. Not that we want to get into politics, but like, don't you just hear from everybody who's got an axe to grind? And all of us reasonable 99%ers in the middle just kind of live our lives and hang quiet.
I will say that some of the most wise, smart, intelligent people I have encountered typically lead with, it's unsure. I don't know. We'd have to do more investigation. We'd have to find out. We'd have to look at a bunch of different stuff. Like, that's a sign of maturity and wisdom. Just snapping to an instant answer is typically a sign of underestimating the to your point, the difficulty of the task. Right.
There's a lot of Dunning-Kruger effect in there.
Yep.
And we don't need to get a Dunning-Kruger effect, but it's pretty fascinating. I will say, I covered professional sports for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years. And before I started covering professional sports, I was a sports fan. And I remember like my first week on the job covering the Pistons, just like my jaw dropping because I was like, nobody knows what's going on in here. Like when you cover a team, you know more about what's going on in the locker room than the fan does. You just do. You're there.
Sure.
You hear things. You get off the record things. Some things are fed to you off the record on purpose, hoping you can figure out a way to use it later. Mm-hmm. Some of it's just to give you knowledge into what's happening. You see things that you can't report. You told things that you can't report. And you know more than people who are on the outside. It's just because of proximity. Right. But when you're there, you also realize how many hundreds of things there are that exist every single day that you don't know about. And that's what happens in clubhouses around the world. I'm going to try to tell this story without naming any names. But at one point, I covered a few different teams, a few different coaches, a few different managers. At one point, one of the people I covered promoted one of his players to a higher position. Okay. And after a very short time, demoted said person back to previous position and was getting murdered for it publicly. And I approached this person and I was like, hey, I'm not surprised you moved that person back down. I'm surprised you did it so fast. And he pulled me aside and he said, hey, off the record, he went to an assistant coach and said, the game's moving too fast. I can't tell the public that.
Nope.
I don't think he even told the player that word had been passed along to him. But he said, my job is to put my players in the position to win, in a position to succeed. The best place for him to
He knew
succeed
that
is back where he was.
Right. Wasn't quite ready yet. Yep.
And I had to get him there. And he said, I have to basically, I have to live with this decision publicly. I have to take the beating for why are you moving back down there silently, because I can't tell the truth.
And that's leadership. That's like good thing.
How many times do you think that happens in a week in an NFL locker room?
It's got it right.
And when they're looking for a new offensive coordinator, I don't even know what because I don't know exactly what John Morton did wrong to get fired that they needed to do differently this time. Like you just don't know.
You don't know.
So,
and on the other side of it, like, what's the Indiana coach's name? I forget.
Cincinnati.
Yeah. So what was it? 2 years ago, he's hired by Indiana. Who would have said, in that, oh yeah, give him a couple of years, he's going to win a national championship at Indiana. Like nobody knows. If he would have flunked out and said, oh, okay, he's going back to James Madison or whatever, no one would have been surprised to that either. So
you trusted him a year ago because he had hired Ben Johnson.
And he made him into whatever, or supposedly, And
John Morton failed. Like, do you trust him last time? But now you don't trust him. Like, it's the most recent? Anyway, we can drop this. But
and maybe things are just kind of complicated sometimes.
Yeah. I had an over under bet with a friend he's a Bears fan this year, and I sadly paid him off in like week 12. It was the earliest I've not that I make a lot of these bets, but before the playoffs were even over, I'm like, I got 100 that next year the Lions win more games than the Bears. I'm down with it. Like the Lions had the highest point differential in the NFC North this year. I mean, they weren't that far off. And they're flipping schedules. The Lions are playing a last place schedule next year. They played a first place schedule this year. The Bears are doing the opposite. Like it'll be a different story next year. I believe. But I did read somebody today that seemed sane that said what they do with the offensive line is going to mean a lot more to their offensive success or failure than who they have as offensive coordinator. And I do believe fans have a tendency to blame coaches because they don't want to blame players for some reason. I just felt like that when I covered sports. It's always the manager or the coach that has to be the fall guy. So anyway.
All right.
Anything else to add about the Lions? That was my mind. Well, we sometimes we talk about a district. Sometimes we talk about a thing that we're talking about. This is a sports theme this week. We're doing curling to NFL football. Do you have anything you want to say about the Lions playing Detroit? What do you like to do in Detroit, Eric? Go.
I will say it is more difficult to drive there across the entire state when the weather's so crummy. Like I'd go to a lot more Pistons games. It was a lot easier to go to Tigers games because the weather's better. That's hard on this road stuff.
Absolutely. That's fair.
I will say that.
So, yeah, I guess that was my bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
North River Vodka. It's Michigan's true spirit. Now back to Chris and Eric.
Welcome back to the Michigan's True Spirit podcast. I am Chris. I'm here with Eric, and this is an event that is sweeping the nation. It's a sensation. It's the thing everybody is talking about. It is rock or crock. This is a game we play each week where I describe
I'm undefeated.
A band. You're undefeated this year. Actually,
you're not. The people.
Yep. You're not. You lost 2 weeks ago.
In my own mind, I am.
This year. That's cool. Rock or Crock is where I describe a band that's coming to Michigan to play a show. I give Eric a fake name and their real name. He has to decide which name is rock, which name is crock. He's not very good at it, despite the fact that he's figured out my system. So
you got me with hummus vacuum.
I did get you with hummus vacuum. I was reviewing them. Ode to Apathy, I was pretty proud of last week. I thought that was a pretty good emo band name. But we're on to this week. We're not living in the past.
No, forward and onward.
This band is a Los Angeles-based rock band that turns modern alt-rock into a loud, cathartic release. Equal parts rebellion, freedom, and zero apologies, self-expression. Since their 2022 debut, this band has built a fast-growing fan base by writing hook-heavy songs that challenge the status quo.
A rock band challenging the status quo? Really?
I'm reading off the internet. Celebrate individuality and say the quiet parts out loud for anyone who's ever felt boxed in.
So pretty much every rock band ever. Okay.
There's more. On stage, this band is built for impact. Explosive, emotional.
Is that the name of the band? Built for impact? That'd be pretty.
And dialed all the way up. If you want a night of modern rock, I need a better announcer voice that hits pop punk adrenaline and feels like a group therapy sing along. This is the one. I'm going to tell you, we're kind of making fun of the description.
Sounds good.
We're making fun of the description, but my daughter and I listened to this for a couple minutes, and she was like, "What's the name of the song?" I'm putting it on my playlist. Like, I would go see these guys. After 2 minutes, I would go see these guys. That's always my test.
Oh,
Are you ready? Do you need any?
If I had a band,
highlights?
maybe I should call them These Guys. Wouldn't These Guys be a good band name? Because people are like, oh yeah, we're gonna go see these guys.
I've always joked that the worst band name in the world would be TBA.
Yeah, event canceled or something.
And I saw a band today that said so and so with special guest TBA, and I was like, now I'm confused. Is it to be announced, or is the band actually named TBA? But anyway, do you need any reviews? Do you need any highlights?
No,
You got your notes?
no,
what
I
are your
got
high
it. Rock
points?
band from LA. Got it.
Rock band from LA. Is this band called My Doom Scrolled Life?
Okay.
Or is this band called Beauty School Dropout?
Okay, my choices are My Doom Scrolled Life or Beauty School Dropout. Beauty School Dropout being a reference from the song from that song from Grease. That's right.
Never saw it.
Well, you're not coming up with that on your own if you don't know.
Maybe I have seen it.
No, you're so full of crap.
Maybe I have. Maybe I, dude. When I tell you the truth, I don't know what I'm doing here. Those are your options, sir.
All right, my Beauty School Dropout is like a tune from Grease, which you seemed completely oblivious to. Like, I thought you were a poker player, but I think I have a read that you had no idea what that was. Do you know what you didn't know what that reference was? Whereas My Doom Scrolled Life is something I feel like you could concoct. The band's description fits My Doom Scrolled Life better, but I think that's by your design. Whereas Beauty School Dropout doesn't fit as well, but you seemed a little sus around that. So I am going to choose this band name is actually Beauty School Dropout. That's my final answer.
I've never been so pissed at myself in my entire life.
You didn't.
I gave it away. I gave it away. I had you tricked and I gave it away.
Mm-hmm.
I answered the question. I gave you a read and I'm angry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where's your hoodie and sunglasses at the table, you know?
Beauty School Dropout will be at the L Club in Detroit on February 23rd.
Nailed it.
Along with Daddy Don't Cry. We promoted the heck out of the L Club recently.
I'm pretty proud of myself.
But I'm here to add to this. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll give you 30 seconds to celebrate your victory. Go ahead. Make a speech. Make it like pretend you're at the Oscars. I'm going to buzz you in 30 seconds.
I just want to thank all the little people who I stepped on to make this happen, namely Chris, for giving me the read. It was good. It's smart that you're not using any pyramid scheme ones because I have their mailing list or whatever. I'm going to know.
Yeah, I know. I told you to stay off the list.
Yeah.
We've established recently we've never been at the end of the L Club.
Gotta go.
But we talked about what tickets I have for the L Club recently on the podcast. Antarctico Vespucci, as well as that's still a great name. Mm-hmm. As well as Black Pistol Fire.
Good.
But I don't have tickets to this because we used to have Eric and I used to have a chat group with two other guys where we would discuss music, and occasionally one of us would say, "Hey, who wants to go to this concert?" And somebody else would go, "I'll go." And recently there's no I'll goes. So I'm going by myself to all of these shows, but I'm for sure going to go see.
16 degrees this week. I'm afraid for my life.
Who did I tell you I was going to go see? Their name just slipped my mind.
Amerigo Vespucci.
No.
Black Pistol Flyer.
Daisy Grenade.
Daisy Grenade.
Oh, yeah, Daisy Grenade. It's the only power punk bubble grunge band that I've ever heard of. So if anyone wants to go see Antarctico Vespucci or Black Pistol Fire or Daisy Grenade, I'll be there by myself because my friends suck. I'll see you there.
Ouch.
So anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks to Matt Sussman for coming on.
Yeah.
Thanks to Logan for clipping out all the bad parts, which if you clipped out all the bad parts, this would be 30 seconds long. Thank you, Eric, for tricking me into giving up Rock or Crock this week. Do you have anything else to say to the people this week?
Another brilliant victory. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.
Thanks. Good night.